the law is clear.
Yes, Jide.
That talking about essential services. Let me read. No person, that is the Trade Union Act, Section 43(1)(a). No person shall subject any other person to any kind of constraint or restriction of his personal freedom in the course of persuasion. 1(b) says no trade union or registered federation of the trade unions or any member thereof shall in the course of any strike action compel any person who is not a member of his union to join any strike. Even that one, they breached that one. The Miscellaneous Offences Act. Tampering with electric plants, works, etc. Any person who unlawfully disconnects, removes, damages, tampers, meddles with, or in any way whatsoever interferes with any plant, works, cables, wire, or assembly of wires designed or used for transforming or converting electricity shall be guilty of an offense and liable on conviction to be sentenced to imprisonment for life. 10. Any person who unlawfully disconnects, removes, damages, tampers, meddles with, or in any way whatsoever interferes with any electric fittings, meters, or any appliances used for generating, transforming, converting, conveyancing, supplying, or selling electricity shall be guilty of an offense and liable on conviction to imprisonment for a term of not exceeding 21 years. There are other areas that they shouldn't have gone to that they went to. Essential services, even CBN staff. You can't compare CBN staff to join your strike. They are part of essential service. Those who work in security, printing and minting company, they are also deemed to be part of essential service, just like hospitals. But we have a situation in which people went switched off the national grid and recorded themselves. That is high treason. And again, I'm saying that, look, because we know the strike will not end, they will still find a way to go on strike. If they switch off the national grid again and no Ribadu is there, he can't call the security agents to secure our national asset. Then he knows that he's not up to his job. I do not expect this to happen again. Because it will now show that, oh, we have laws, but some people are bigger than our laws. Ajero, or anybody for that matter, is not bigger than the laws of our country. The laws of our country are meant to be obeyed. When they're on strike, there's no country in the world where they strike like South Africa. When they go on strike, they know that essential services must go on. And what they've designed is when there is dispute in respect of essential services in South Africa, they are dealt with by arbitration so that they can be speedily resolved, because they don't want a situation in which people on essential services will then go on strike. Mm-hmm. So whatever we have to do, there are lessons from this. And the lesson is nobody should be permitted, allowed to get close to switching off the national grid. I'm not saying don't go on strike. Go on strike. I'm not saying don't ask for minimum wage that is far bigger than what you have now. I support it. But know your boundary, know your limitations. Because if we permit this sort of thing to happen, then we are a country, we are moving into the Obesian state of nature, where people can do what they like and get away with it. We can't run a country in that manner, where government will fold its arms and watch people do things that the law says they should not do. No, we can't have that. We can't have that. People can't behave just the way they like because they are unionists. So we keep our national grid, we now put it in the hands of unionists who can come at any time and switch off because they got away with it under President Buhari. We saw Oshomole do strikes in this country. I've known Oshomole as a union leader in Arewa Tex in Kaduna, where I started my career. Oshomole rose to become the president of the NLC. Yes. He fought Obasanjo on some occasions. You can accuse him that he was chumming with them later on. But he led this country to successful national strikes, but he never went as far as switching off the national grid. Let people fact check me. And you cannot say Oshiomhole is not stubborn. You can't. Till tomorrow, he remains a stubborn person. But stubbornness, especially when you want to attain a goal, must be aligned with common sense. Not to wage a war against your country because you want more money. No. You can abuse me all they like. But let them tell me one country, whether it's in America, where we regard as the kings of democracy, where somebody will have the audacity to go and switch off the national grid, so even at state level.
So those limitations need not just to be in our law books. Now, this
they must be obeyed. They must be obeyed. And they were obeyed in the past.
And they must be enforced.
They must be enforced.
Nobody can be bigger than Nigeria.
Do you think that if no Ribadu put soldiers there, gun-toting soldiers, if he put soldiers there, do you think they will be able to do it? In Osogbo here, the control center, they were beating people up.
Yeah, do you remember that at the meeting they had yesterday in the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Nuhu Ribadu came, with the retinue of course, statutory soldiers and all that guarding him. And then there were reports on social media. Organized labor spoke out that the place was being guarded by soldiers. If anything happened to the members, they should be held liable and all that. And there had to be clarification that these were just people guarding the NSA.
You see, the problem is that most of our people, actually, you call us journalists, most of us act out of ignorance. Or either we are biased or we are mischievous. Because the National Security Advisor has every reason whatsoever to secure anywhere he is at any point in time. So when I read the comment that NSC was saying that they went to TCN, the military people went to CCN to prevent them from doing, you see, it's unfortunate. It's because we have never made an excuse of anybody. And if you know that the country is in dire economic strait, you don't add to the problem of that particular country. And I think at this particular point in time, the mere fact that we are in crisis does not mean that we should not obey our law. The President, the Attorney General, I was happy by what he said yesterday, and the National Security Advisor should enforce the law as contained in the Constitution of Nigeria.
No more.
This is arrant nonsense.
No more.
Can the President of NSC, can he pay 494 naira to his megad? No,
can pay. That's why
they pay 494 naira to their megad.
He will not pay minimum wage of 494,000.
Can they pay 444 naira to their megad, who is as an employee, or to their even driver? Can they pay 494 naira?
Do you even know the implications? There is what we call consequential adjustment. Every time you do minimum wage, all the other people, minimum wage usually affects maybe plus or minus level 1
to 7, yes.
All the other people, they will benefit because the government will ensure that your pay does not catch up with your bosses. Yes. So everybody right up to level 17, they will all have monies added so that their juniors will not catch up with them. And that also involves tons of money. So when people think that it's only the junior people that are affected, no, every time you increase minimum wage, everybody benefits. Everybody gets salary increase. It's just that they determine the percentage. Some will get maybe 5% raise, depending on how high you are. The higher you are, the lower the percentage that they will add to your listen. But even this one now, because it's high, the consequential adjustments will be really huge. It will be massive. Right. We have to think of the implications. Can we afford this? Then are we turning this to a joke whereby, okay, let's just give them. If the states don't pay, no problem. But the law says everybody must comply. Every employer of labor must comply. We are moving into a realm now where people will just leave you, okay, do the minimum wage. Maybe it is what I can afford that I can pay. Okay. Nigerian companies, they are gasping. Yes. Taxation is killing companies in Nigeria. They cannot even generate electricity, for their businesses. Businesses are closing down. And you want private sector to pay 494. They say this is what they can pay. At the end of the day, maybe President Tinubu will succeed in bullying him, and maybe President Tinubu, okay, we can do 100. If he does 100, Those the private sector, they are not likely.
They are not likely.
And you cannot enforce it. How many people are you going to arrest? It's the duty of the labor minister to enforce it. But how many labor ministers have successfully enforced minimum wage in our country?
We need to take a break.